Yep. That sums it up.
Yeah, it does sum it up.
That's about it.
That's my whole review of Sling Blade.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Hi, this is Scout and
William.
From Hyperventilating,
The podcast.
a show that follows life and change through the eyes of father and daughter. Join us as we find our way together.
Yes, together. Together finding our way.
Yes.
Etc.
Etc.
All right then.
Alrighty. So,
Proceed.
our first topic of the day is, do you think that stand-up comedy can be mean? Like, you know the kind where you're at a show, a comedy show or something, and the stand-up comedian is interacting with the audience? Do you think it can be mean sometimes?
Super mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy mean.
Every
I feel
time I
bad
watch a
for
video
people
of it,
sometimes.
every time I watch a video of stand-up comedy like that, I always think, like, do people think this is funny?
Well, some of it is though, right? Like some guys are like insult comics or things like back in the day, Don Rickles or somebody that was just doing burns, right? So you expect that. And a lot of comedians are like that, right? They're lippy and fast, and they're just burns. That doesn't bother me. You know what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
If you go to see Bill Burr and you sit in the front row at the Comedy Store and you're watching Bill Burr and you're drinking and you start flapping your gums at him, wow, it's on.
Yeah.
But if you're, I think, I don't think in general it is. And I think the guys who do that kind of sort of edgier comedy, you know what to expect, I suppose. But I do think sometimes it's really mean, man.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Well, they usually target people that they know they can make fun of. So that's kind of what makes it...
I don't know, Scout. I think they target... Yes, I agree with you 100%, but not in the sense of people that they can be mean to. I don't think in general they're inherently mean. I mean, your question was, do you think that stand-up comedy, like that kind of interactive comedy, can be mean? And I think, yes, it can be. Yeah, I don't think all of it's mean. If the intention was purely to be mean, I don't think the person would have any success with it, right? Right. It would just... But I think the question you're asking is valid. Like, sometimes it's mean, and I think sometimes it is. Like,
well, I'll get videos on my feed sometimes. It's just... Oh my God! Some of the comedy is just so unfunny and just mean.
Okay, but what do you mean on your feed? First of all,
like
what
on
feed?
TikTok or something.
Yeah, but is that stand-up comedy or just some trolling?
Yeah, no, like a show.
TikTok weasel.
No, like it's an actual show.
Well, so what's an example?
There was just one guy who was doing the interactive comedy.
So what do you mean by that then, interactive comedy?
Like he was just picking people from the crowd and talking to them and just making jokes.
Yeah.
And he picked this one, I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, and they were bigger, and he picked them and he just was bashing on them, and I just felt so bad for the person. Like I almost thought they were in on it. Yeah. Because it was so bad. Well,
to me that's just purely mean.
Yeah, exactly.
The guys who are really good at it, they know which buttons to push, how far to push them. They know when it's veering off into, because it's supposed to be fun, right? And funny. And if it's mean, like mean isn't funny. Yeah. Like it's just awkward and gross.
Yeah. I mean, no one in the crowd was laughing in the video.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he was doing it just to be mean.
I'd say the men and women who are really good at it, they're not mean, because they wouldn't have a career if they were mean. People wouldn't be interested in seeing them. But I think that even they can occasionally make a mistake that they probably wish, like, okay, I went too far with that guy, or I didn't realize that was... I think it's more awkward. Like, it's always weird to me. I wouldn't want to be sitting in the front row. That's what I always think, where there's no way I'd sit in the front where some guy'd be like, oh, yeah, look at this guy who dressed you, or whatever, right?
Yeah, like, and I'm not talking about, Bill Burr and all the famous comedians. I'm talking more about the people that are trying to be comedians and that do bar shows and stuff like that.
Well, okay, then for sure, right? Some of them are just trash. They're just trashy people trying to think they're funny, and they're not. So That would definitely, I mean, because it is definitely a fine line, like a real precarious balance when you're doing that kind of interactive comedy between being funny and being rude or abrasive or, making
Horrible.
somebody feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we can agree
Definitely.
that stand-up comedy can sometimes be mean, depending on who the person is and where they are and
it's contextual too, though, right? Because all comedy is... I like edgy kind of comedy. Like I like guys who are sometimes pushing the envelope, and they'll sometimes be doing things that I perfectly understand if people listen and be like, "That's not funny. That's horrifying." That's. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, Anthony Jeselnik. I love this guy. His comedy is horrible. Like if somebody didn't like it, I would totally understand if they didn't see because his jokes are
terrible.
Wow,
Well,
he'll make fun of things that are just not really funny, but he puts a lot of thought into the story and into the punchline, and it's always got a weird twist to it, and you just can't help. I can't help but laugh sometimes, but I completely understand if somebody would listen to him and be like, "Nope,
that's not funny.
Nope, this guy should be in the nervous hospital."
Good pop culture.
Shout out.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Basically,
are you gonna tell the people the pop culture reference?
Yes. So we recently watched a movie called Sling Blade. And
that's it.
Sling Blade was in a nervous hospital, also known as an insane asylum. Yep, that sums it up.
Yeah, it does sum it up.
That's about it.
That's my whole review of Sling Blade.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, so there you have it. Interactive comedy can sometimes be mean.
Definitely.
Okay, our next topic is something that Mexico is very well known for. In America and Canada, and most places in the world, you guys have
hardware stores.
Hardware stores, yeah. You can just get basically everything. Well, in Mexico, we have ferreterias, which is basically a hardware store, but better.
No, it's a hardware store.
Yeah, and okay, an example that you might go to a hardware store would be if you had a project for school, you would go to the hardware store and you could get styrofoam balls, clay, paint, acrylic paint, paint brushes.
No, you're mixing it up. That's the papeleria. Ferreteria is the places where you get shovels and parts for your bathroom and things like that. Then this is more
your conversation.
Well, no, the conversation was more about the beauty of them, right? Like here in Mexico, on every corner, like every neighborhood has a ferreteria, has a small place, a little bodega. It's not very big, but it's big enough.
We have one right by Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah,
I mean, every neighborhood has access to somebody selling those essential things. You need like some clippers or a screwdriver, bolts. Or some. Yeah, you need just those. You need a tap. You need anything like that. And so back in the day in Canada and the States too. You had that, like you would have a local hardware store. It was the mom and pop store, like it was the Joneses store, and it had been around for 100 years, right? And that's where you would go when you needed that thing. It was a little different because you probably had to drive there, whereas here you can walk and find a ferreteria. But that's gone now, really, in those places, right? You got to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or to get that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but the point you make is the exact same, Irish. It's no different. The papeleria is the exact same version of that, only instead of for hardware, it's for those kind of supplies like
arts and crafts.
And
okay.
That's your ferreteria.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
That's your hardware store. So same thing.
Yeah.
Any opinion you have about that is exactly what I'm getting at. Like that in Canada, or the States, that and probably most places in the world, that's sort of gone away. Like you just don't have that person who's making their little comfortable living. They're not trying to get rich. They're just making a living, and they provide this awesome service in the neighborhood where you can go and get glue or paper or some supplies you need for something like that. Or you can go to a ferreteria and get a screwdriver or a hammer or something, or a rake or a shovel, the thing that you need.
And none of it's overpriced either.
No, I mean,
like you can literally get a screwdriver for like
it's the community.
$5.
It's for the community
or less.
It's the community. Like, it's fantastic, and that's the beauty of the ferreteria to me is not so much itself, but the fact that it's there and it's available to the community. Same as the papeleria, they're everywhere. So that's amazing. Like in Canada, you have to go to the mall or you have to go to Michael's or somewhere to get that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's fantastic. It's one of the great things. It's very indicative of Mexico, is that sense of community that's still there, where there's people who are just making a nice living and just happy, and they're all just in it together. And so somebody always needs thread, or somebody always needs some screws or nails.
Rope or
and
wood.
So you can walk out your door, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, you can have those things.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, the papeleria is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's your version of for me, the ferreteria. It's very cool. I guess you don't have much reference because you've lived here your whole life.
No, but
you've spent enough time in Canada and the States
what's
to know.
What's the place in Canada that we went to? The logo is like a little red triangle with a little leaf on the top.
Canadian Tire?
Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
So I have references. Like, I've been to Home Depot. I've been to places. I've been to hardware stores.
No, I mean, you don't have the sense that that ferreterias, papelerias don't exist everywhere else. That's what I meant. Like, of course, you know what Home Depot is. We have one here too. Like, you know what those things are.
Yeah, but I don't know any. Yeah, I mean.
Like, you think about it. Think about being in Canada or being in the States, and then just think about walking around in the neighborhood or driving around. Do you see that kind of thing?
We definitely take advantage of them. Like, you can't just go anywhere in the States and just find a little arts and crafts store or a little hardware store. You can't
in your neighborhood.
That. Yeah, exactly. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Like, think about that from your point of view. Think about if you didn't have that, wouldn't that not be weird that you had to go get in a car and drive half an hour or 45 minutes to get a glue?
Yeah, wood glue or glue. So yeah, I guess we do take advantage of that. I like them because I'm going to talk about papelerias because I don't know much about ferreterias.
Same thing.
But what I like about papelerias is that you can get anything there, anything.
Yeah.
As long as, like, think of something arts and crafts, board game pieces. Think of anything that you can do with your hands.
Yeah.
You'll most likely find it there. Glue, paint, paintbrushes, fabric. School supplies. Backpacks.
It's awesome.
And I can just smell them. Like, I can smell them so clearly. The smell of the silicone and the styrofoam.
Yeah.
Hot glue sticks you can find there. Hot glue guns.
And they're all the same. They're all packed. Like, floor to ceiling, every inch of the place. There's enough room for the person to walk around.
Yeah.
And
but
that's
there can't be more than 5 people in the store.
Man. Most of them, you come into the front and stand in the counter and you say, okay, can I have this?
Yeah.
Do you have this? And then they disappear down the aisles and into the back.
Into the back rooms.
Yeah, and maybe they get off a ladder and they climb up onto something and they come back and they may have like 2 of the thing you want.
And they have a lot of the cupboards in the room are locked. I don't know why, but they're locked. Yeah. So you can't just take anything and everything. You have to ask the person, oh, can I have this color?
And the ones you can even access.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, literally, okay, one time for a project, I had to make a planet. I was like, what am I going to make this planet out of? I had 2 options, paper mache or styrofoam. So you and I went to the papeleria. We went inside, and right there, like, at the counter was like 10 different sizes of styrofoam balls.
That's awesome. All the different sizes, yeah.
And so I got to choose which size I wanted. And then I was like, oh, we're out of white paint.
Yeah, no problem.
Right there. Oh, you know what? I think I might as well get a paintbrush. No worries. What size do you want? How many bristles? Like, it's so insane. In that small room, they can have thousands of things.
Yeah. It's
They have
amazing.
different kinds of paper. They have, you know how in some classrooms they have the times table sheets?
Mm-hmm.
They have those.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane the amount of things you can find there.
You know what I love about them is both of them, the papeleria, ferreteria, exact same thing. They're so purposeful.
Yeah.
Like they're there and they serve exactly the purpose they're there for. There's no frills. There's no need for anything else. It's just what it is.
It's
If you need this, that's where you go,
Yeah.
and it's there.
And it's somehow specific but unspecific. And you got the people listening. Hey, you guys are probably thinking like, oh, well, we have Target, or oh, well, we have whatever. No,
No, it's
you
not the
have,
same.
I promise you, it is not the same.
It's just not. I mean, there's more things obviously in Target. These are small little bodegas, but the thing is that they almost always have what you want. So if you needed some weird thing, there's no way
Gems.
you're getting it at Home Depot or Target probably. But you go into there, you're like, oh, it's one of these things. They're like 20 years old. You probably don't have one. And the guy's like,
I have 3 left.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, it's like they fit so much in like
Yeah.
2 acres of land.
Dude,
I was just throwing numbers out.
you sure were.
Yeah, but
Nah. Okay.
is that a lot of space?
Well, it means that I'm going to have to get back to the homeschooling drawing board.
Okay. Well, I don't speak acres.
Yeah, you
But
could.
it's like
You could do quite a bit of farming in 2 acres.
you get the gist of it. I
Yeah.
don't speak. I've never talked in acres.
Some of them are the size of a mid-sized bedroom.
Yeah.
They're not big at all. They're just
The one that we always
local
go to
place.
that we always used to go to after school. That was probably like half the size of this room. What?
Well. Okay, I'm just making a mental list here of homeschooling topics.
Okay. No, it is.
No way, man.
Yes.
No.
Less?
No, bigger.
That
It does
papeleria was not bigger.
It does seem small.
Okay,
Where
but
the
I'm
supplies
talking about
were.
where we're allowed to stand in.
Oh well, now you're you're generating some specifics now. Yes, I agree. Then the part in front of the counter is about half the size of this
Yeah,
room.
exactly. Exactly.
I misunderstood.
So yeah, papelerias and
Or
ferreterias
did I
are amazing.
misunderstand, or did you just expertly
No, you
try and
misunderstood.
scramble
You
something up?
misunderstood.
I believe that you scrambled well.
No. So yeah, the magic of papelerias and ferreterias are quite
Amazing.
magical.
Yeah. All right.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you have it. Now, for our first segment of the day, we're gonna switch things up a little because our review of the day is actually a really good book, so I kind of want to save that for last. But our what if is also really good. So, Father, what
Oh
if
my gosh.
you were stranded?
Is this going to be one
on
of
an
these
island- Oh,
that I
wait.
can't deal with?
No.
That I'm gonna be like,
This
wow.
is like this is one that we've answered before with each other on
Oh,
walks and stuff.
All right. So this isn't like what if you wanted to plant a tree on Jupiter.
No, it is not.
All right. What kind of a
Which-
tree would you plant on Jupiter?
I don't get how that's difficult. Just pick a tree.
Because you can't plant any trees
Oh
on Jupiter.
my God! Just pick a tree.
Oh, you can't plant a tree on
No,
Jupiter.
you can't. But if you could, what if you could?
Okay.
What if you were stranded on an island and you could only bring 5 reasonable things, or 5 things? What would you bring? Okay, and granted, it can't be. I would bring a private jet and a 5-star review cruise ship.
Yeah.
Like it has to be. It could be water or food. It can be stuff like that. But just
Water or food?
don't make it like.
Let's say that there's
I
water.
bring my personal hot spring.
Yeah, let's say there's water and food there.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
otherwise,
So you
that's
already
number
have an
1 and
unlimited
2 on the
food
list.
and water
Yeah.
supply.
All right.
But-
5 things.
Yep.
Well, there better be trees on my imaginary island.
There are.
Okay. Then
That's where you get your food from.
I'm bringing a machete.
Okay.
100%. Best tool ever in the woods. So 100% a machete.
We're together too, by the way.
Are we? So we both get 5 things?
Yeah, we each get 5 things.
Oh, all right, that's better. All right, and then you pick one, and
Okay.
I'll think of another one. So far we have a machete.
Yeah. So for my first thing, books. lots and lots of books.
Ooh, for starting fires.
No, whoa, whoa, no.
Good thinking.
No,
Paper.
no.
I like where your head's at.
No, but like 300 books or something.
Would we get dropped off to be stranded here?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, so we have a machete and a source of fire starter.
No, books for entertainment. You're
I
not even. You're,
I
you're
agree with
king
the
of
books.
saying you can't. Don't even fold a book page.
I agree with
if
the
you
books.
do, then
I agree. Okay, so we have food and water already. So we got a machete. Oh, I'm bringing Tina, the world's greatest
Dad's
guitar.
guitar.
Yeah, that Tina's coming.
Okay. I would bring.
This is your what if. Don't be staring at me like
I would bring.
You're all looking like a drowning person waiting for a life preserver.
Okay, I'd bring things.
This is your what if. Did you not think this through?
I'd probably bring things that I could use in the water.
Things. You said 5 items.
Okay, yeah.
You already
Fair.
used your first item was 300 books.
Okay. Okay, as my item, I would a bed.
A bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm counting on you to bring the reasonable things. So.
A bed.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so I'm going to be sleeping on rocks and tree roots and everything, and every morning you're going to be like, oh boy, how'd you sleep, man? I really...
It's a California
I banged
king.
out a solid 10 hours. Oh.
It's a California king, so...
Well, I don't think that's a reasonable one.
It is.
But that's one of your ones. All right. Okay. All right. Fine. You can have your smelly old bed because I'm gonna have a bush hammock. I have one in storage. It's where you can. It's a hammock. It's a sleeping hammock that you can hang between trees and you can zip it up to keep the bugs out. Ooh, and I've slept in it and it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get to use it though.
All right. No.
Yeah.
You have your king size
And you
bed.
get to use that too.
I don't want it. I have my. I got my hammock, my sleeping hammock.
Okay, then probably for my
Did I
next
tell
thing.
you it has a zipper?
Yeah,
that
you
can
sure
keep the
did.
bugs out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be laughing at you on your king size bed, swatting
and
at mosquitoes.
I'll have my big comforter on the cold nights to wrap myself in. It comes with the bed. My third thing is a jumbo-sized trampoline.
Wow.
We already have food, water, and books. I might as well use something for fun.
Fine. I mean, I brought a guitar. That's not like that's a super useful tool. All right, so I have a machete, a guitar, a bush hammock. That's 3. So I got another one to get here. What would be a good thing to have? Oh, I know. I'm bringing a super loyal 100-pound dog that never gets old.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Okay, so if you can take an animal, so can I.
And knows how to fish.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
A fishing dog.
Okay, my animal is...
No, should we just keep this to realistic things? Or if we
Yeah.
already...
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring... I'm assuming I'm going to be able to make fire with the machete. Like with sparks,
Yeah,
so
and
we
we
don't
already
need fire.
have supplies like that and stuff.
And we have the books so we can start fires.
No, we're not using the books to start
No,
fires.
we won't. I couldn't do
Unless
that.
we get sick of them.
No, I couldn't do that. I don't
Yeah,
really
that's
feel
the
like
thing, you couldn't.
I don't really... No, I couldn't in a million years. I don't think I need anything else. That seems to cover everything.
No, but you have to. You have 2 more
Well, you come
options.
up with another one then while I try and think of one.
Okay.
I'm kind of pleased that those are the only things that I need.
Yeah.
A machete, a guitar,
And a hammock.
and a hammock. Honestly. I'm quite content. I have your marginally decent company.
Wow.
At times.
Wow. Ooh, I know.
All right.
So, since I already have a trampoline on land, you know how there's those places where you can go and there's this big blow-up water trampoline park? One of those. Smack right in front of our island. Right there.
How are you blowing
Blink.
it up and keeping it blown up? We said realistic things, man.
We have an unlimited amount of food and
you
water.
think of something realistic. I figured out another one. Super, super duper high-powered binoculars.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have. In case I needed rescuing from you too, right?
A cooler. I'd take a big cooler.
Would I bring you with me if I got rescued? I suppose I'd have to, right?
Why would we want to get rescued?
Well,
By the way we're talking?
I don't know. You might get mad at me when I start to lighting the books on fire.
No. Yeah, I would, actually. Okay.
Or what if I get annoyed with your trampolining? Bounce, 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 bounce.
Womp womp.
Yeah,
You can take your hammock elsewhere.
No, I'll take my binoculars and I'll use the glass in them to make a signaling device, and I'll signal a plane that I need rescuing, and I'll let them know that I'm by myself.
Okay.
No, I couldn't leave you behind.
I wouldn't want any devices. Oh, I know what I'd take.
Well, no devices, man. No devices.
Pen and a bunch of paper. Like a bunch of paper. Just so I could draw. Write.
Lots of ink.
Yeah, lots of ink.
All right, fair
and
enough.
just a little box of art supplies.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. So, am I done here?
No, you have one more. And so do I.
What I have so far? A machete, guitar,
binoculars, and a hammock.
And a hammock. Oh, got it. Cards. A deck of playing cards. That's right.
Yeah, no, we're going to have the best time.
Well considered. All right.
Oh, that's good.
That was a good one.
A big portable fan.
Which is going to run on what?
With an unlimited amount of batteries.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I can carry all my stuff in. You're going to need a million Sherpas.
I don't want to. Because the island's going to have amazing
Okay, let's go through our list. My list that I can carry. I have a machete, a guitar. What else?
Playing cards.
Binoculars.
And a hammock.
And a hammock, a bush hammock, which rolls up into like a very small package.
And zips up so you could put stuff in it.
Oh, for sure. And now you have...
a trampoline.
Yeah.
A jumbo one. A bed, a mattress, California King.
King-size bed.
California King.
Mm-hmm. 300 books.
Yeah. Art supplies. With a bunch of paper.
Yeah.
And for my last thing, I'm going to take...
Did you not already?
Yeah, but I don't want that. I don't want a fan.
Oh, that's right. The fan. It can't need power.
I know. I would take I'm just going to stop there.
Well, you might as well keep the fan then.
No, and I'd take a hammock.
Take the fan and the batteries.
No, I'd take a hammock.
You can't have a hammock.
Yes, I can.
No, there's no duplicating.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, no duplicating.
Yes, there is.
No, I'm sorry. You're just stuck with what you brought. You got to dance with the one that brung you. Mm-hmm. You're stuck with the things you brought. So sorry.
All right.
Book review.
So, for our last part of today's episode, we're going to be talking about the one and only Ivan.
Yes.
Now, if you haven't read this book, please read it. It's so amazing. It's well written. It's sweet. It has heart, but there's also parts where it's like, what's going to happen? You care about the characters even though they're talking animals. It's amazing. It's about this gorilla who's in this mall. And the mall kind of has like it's not a zoo in the mall, but...
You're going to do one of your
short story long.
Synopsises?
Yeah.
Exactly, a short story long.
And this gorilla, Ivan, lives in this mall. And the mall's kind of like a zoo. There's a few other animals.
It's like a roadside mall,
yeah,
like a roadside attraction.
It's just him.
I think it used to have stuff. It's like a sort of a tired old roadside attraction.
Yeah, exactly. And
with kind of a mall vibe.
Yeah. And, he's just in this cage, this big glass cage. But there's a hole in the corner of it that he can't fit through because he's an ape. But this little dog can. And him and this dog become buddies. And then they find out that they're going to bring in this little elephant named Stella. And so it's just these three animals and their story of how they can communicate with each other.
Ivan's the gorilla, the silverback.
And Ivan can draw. Not very well, as you can imagine. But he can draw.
Because he makes friends with the girl.
Yeah, the little girl who's the owner of the mall's daughter. And yeah, it's just the story about how the mall owner isn't a bad guy.
No, not at all.
And
there's no villains.
No.
Well, so, I guess we're the villains in a way.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what
the sort of collective we.
That's what it's trying to
imprisoning
prove,
him, and he's on there for our display.
Yeah, and how he
doesn't know anything else.
Yeah, all he knows is that his home. All he knows is his home, which is this glass box, and his two little buddies who are an elephant and.
But he longs for a sense of who he is, right? Because he knows he's not an elephant. He knows he's not a dog. He knows he's not a human. And so that's his whole thing is like, kind of, who am I,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So, honestly, out of 10, this is a 10.
Oh, this thing's awesome.
This is a really good book.
Awesome.
And it's not even really just for kids.
No, it's not for kids.
Like,
it's for
an adult could read it and they could be like, oh, wow.
Oh, 100% for anybody who wants to.
Yeah, I mean, you read it.
Well, that's like my introduction to it was Madish brought it home from the library. Mm-hmm. And he left it it was sitting on the coffee table, and you guys weren't here for a couple of days, and it was just sitting there. And so it's a book, so I got to pick it up and look at it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I picked it up, and I just started. I read, the blurb in the back, and I was like, this looks kind of cool. And the art is amazing in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's specifically really cool art.
It's not a long book either. The way it's written.
At all. I read it in one sitting. I was on the couch downstairs. I picked it up and I started reading it, and I didn't stop until I was finished. I loved it. I loved it. It was so. I hadn't read something. I'm not exaggerating. I hadn't read something that I enjoyed as much in years as I enjoyed the one. Yeah, I couldn't. I just loved it. Loved that book, man. It was because it's just so well written, and it's so just enough of a story. It's just the right size. It's not like today. A lot of times they're trying to. It's got to be 600 pages, or it's not worth the $50 or whatever, right? And it was Exactly. It was just the perfect size, and it's definitely not just for kids. The story resonates with anybody who enjoys reading and enjoys a good ripping story. It's really good, man. It's really good. The characters are well drawn. Yeah. You care about them. It's Catherine Applegate.
Yeah,
2012. She wrote it in 2012.
And
she's the author.
If you like the book, she's written other books. I've read them all except for The Amazing Stella.
And they're all good too. They have the same spirit.
Yeah, the one and only Bob, which Bob is the dog and Stella's the elephant, and they all have their own book from their own point of view, and they're all just as
Crenshaw.
good.
I like Crenshaw.
Crenshaw was a
book
that you got me for Christmas.
Yeah, that was.
It's about this
different.
boy who has an imaginary friend. It's a cat, and it's just
the same kind of vibe though. Just sort of sweet.
It is 100% the same kind of vibe.
She's a very good writer. Like, she's a very polished writer who knows what she's doing. Like, she knows she doesn't use more words than she needs to. She knows what the story she's trying to tell is. It's just so. Yeah. It's not just sweet. Like, it's also sad, and it's also it runs you through
Makes
as many.
You mad sometimes.
Yeah, definitely mad. It runs you through every emotion that you'd want to.
Well, and I can only think of it from a kid's point of view, and as from a kid's point of view. Read it at least once.
Oh, and from an adult point of view too. I mean, like I said a minute ago, anybody who enjoys reading will enjoy this book. Like, I defy you to read this book, and maybe you won't like it as much as we did, but you're not going to read it and be like, "Good,
this is the worst book I've ever read." What's their problem? Yeah. So shout out to Kathleen Applegate.
Mm-hmm. Catherine.
Yeah. Catherine Applegate.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, please go and read this book.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't recommend a book more. It's a beautiful little book, and for kids, it's fantastic.
It is.
It's one of those great books for a family to read together. Like, if you read to your kids, this is a great book to read to your kids, because there's so much to talk about that's gently introduced: friendship and loyalty and love and work, like the struggles of the dad and it's really good. She touches on a lot of things that are real in this little parable of the silverback gorilla.
And there's a movie, which isn't as good.
Yeah. I mean,
But, because the book's always better.
Yeah.
But there is a movie.
Yeah.
So.
This is one of those cases where I wish there wasn't a movie, because a lot of people will just use the movie as the substitute for actually reading the book, and that's a shame, because it's
the book is nothing like. The movie is nothing like the book.
It's a movie, right? They've had to make it more visually appealing.
Yeah. Which the book is very visually appealing. Right,
but it's your imagination. Like any good book, the picture that's painted is your picture. It's not the vision of the director or the in that case the cartoonist.
Yeah, like Catherine Applegate, shout out, did a really good job of like making you kind of visualize the aesthetic, and like I can picture them all very clearly.
Yeah.
So.
Brilliant book.
Yeah.
Very, very good book.
Yeah, it is. Well, there you have it, guys.
Irish, that would be that for episode...
The 16th.
The 16th. We're veterans now.
We are.
Oh, yeah. We're becoming legends.
Yeah. In the podcasting community.
Oh, yeah, man. We're super well known. Yeah, it's hard to get out from the avalanche of mail.
Yeah.
You're just getting buried. All right, I love you very much.
I love you too.
And I will see you not only for episode the 17th, but shortly.
I'll see you.
For dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, popcorn and a movie day.
That's right.
Sweet.
I love you, Dad.
I love you.
Next time.